Okay, it looks like we're live. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to, I think, the fourth video, or the fourth live stream since the one I've done, like, I think 3 months ago. I'll be covering the weather for July 12th of 2023. And we do have a pretty significant possible event today. We have a 10% tornado threat for a region in Chicago that could be pretty devastating because it's highly populated in this region as it continues moving eastward. Right now, it's only the beginning. We did have a tornado warning, I think, I'm not sure how long ago, I think a few minutes ago, but this is going to be the start of probably a pretty long day for the people in Chicago, so I'll be covering the weather for hopefully not any tornadoes today, but if there are any tornadoes, I will be here to help forecast and relay reports for what's going on in the region. So currently, we did have that tornado warning that did happen a few minutes ago. Right now, what we're currently looking at in terms of that 10% tornado threat is this little line in particular that is extending into parts of southern Wisconsin, across into parts of, I think, Iowa, that is. Yeah, into parts of Iowa. It's moving across northern Illinois, and it's making its way to Freeport, and currently it does have a possibility of tornadoes in it with a few notches, as we did see a few minutes ago. However, currently it looks like the possibility of some small hail as it continues to develop, and wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, 35 miles per hour are currently possible with this line in particular as it continues to move to Freeport. So if you don't know about the situation, there is an enhanced risk. I can actually pull that up here. There is an enhanced risk. If I can find it, actually, give me a second. Outlooks. Okay, there is that enhanced risk for Chicago. There's an enhanced risk basically for primarily only Chicago. So it's primarily localized to this region. Everything is still developing back in that slight risk region, back in further west in Illinois. But if we pull up the tornado threat, if we pull up the okay, I've lost it. I don't know where it went. We might be stuck on this. So yes, okay, cool. So as for now, I can't switch to the tornado potential. I've lost my control panel. I don't know where it went, but we do have an enhanced risk, and in that enhanced risk, there is a 10% tornado threat with the hatch significant region. So that means the possibility of tornadoes up to EF2 to possibly EF5 or higher. Or not higher, you can't go higher than that, but that's what the hatch significant region means, and it's for this region in particular. It is targeting Chicago. Chicago is in a bullseye for strong severe weather today, and the possibility of tornadoes. And as for hail, I think it's still a 15%. It could have been increased with the hatch significant region. I haven't checked since 4 p.m. I can check right now, though. For wind and hail, it's only a 15% and a 5%. So hail is not really all that much of a threat. It's mainly the threat for tornadoes that could be strong. And I'll continue to relay reports and keep everyone updated on this current situation. trying to find how I pull up watches, because there is a tornado watch for this region in particular that was issued a few minutes ago, so it is relatively new. Here we go. I'm gonna make that red. Actually, no, let's not make that red. That's gonna be hard to see. I'll make it a bright red. Severe thunderstorm watch will be in blue. So currently we got a tornado warning for pretty much the area surrounding Chicago, including Chicago. This entire area here is in a tornado, not warning, it's a tornado watch. This entire area here is in a tornado watch for the time until expires in 332 minutes. So it's going to be there for a while. I'm hoping the sound quality is okay. Hello, the Looney Goons. How are you on this fine day, I guess, while we wait for updates? Yeah, I agree with that. You can see this line in particular is moving pretty quickly. It's already impacted Freeport, which I actually was not expecting in that short amount of time. I think it was like 2 minutes ago since I last said that it was about to impact Freeport, and it's already past Freeport, so this line is moving extremely quickly. If I had to guess, it will likely impact Rockford probably in the next 30 minutes. So if you live in Rockport, you don't have all that much of a threat. However, there is a tornado possible signature on this line in particular, which could allow for the possibility of tornadoes associated with this line. However, our main threats, based on the reflectivity and the velocity, it looks like strong damaging winds and the possibility of small hail, possibly. It doesn't look like there's all that much of a possibility of small hail. However, there could be some small hail in some pockets like here and here, but it looks like it's mostly just heavy rain for now. But as for wind, there is wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour now, so they are increasing as this line continues eastward to definitely allow for the possibility of some strong damaging outflow gusts. And then you can see further down south, just northwest of Dixon, there is another developing system, which is probably going to be associated with this line in particular, and associated with the enhanced risk region, which could also have the tornado possible signature on that. So I'll continue to keep you guys updated on that system in particular. I am going to turn on spotter reports just so we can possibly get a better idea of what might be happening on the ground. And if you don't know already, if you didn't watch today's forecast, there is another area of strong severe weather development. It's another enhanced risk region with a 30% hatch significant region for wind and a 15% with a hatch significant region for wind or for hail. So there's the possibility of large hail and destructive outflow gusts up to 40 knots or even higher. And it's for western Missouri and eastern Kansas. And I likely won't be focusing too much on that enhanced risk region further down south. I likely will be focusing on this 10% tornado threat, but that had significant region, just for now at least. I am also going to put the link to the Discord, just so it's there. And make sure to join the Discord if you haven't already. Okay, I'm glad that that works. That is something that I've made a while back, and I'm glad that it's now working. But and this is the first time that I've got to use that, so I'll be continuing to relay reports on this as this continues towards Rockford. Again, we have the possibility of some very strong winds associated with this line in particular. They're just increasing and increasing as time goes forward. They were at 40 knots max. Now they're at 42 knots max, possibly getting up to the 44 knots. Or 44 miles per hour. They say knots on the SPC, so that gets me mixed up. But we currently, there's still that tornado watch that is in effect for the Chicago region, while this line makes its way towards Rockford. Strong damaging winds are going to be possible with this system in particular, and we do have a second system that is developing to the northwest of Dixon, which is likely going to continue eastward as it continues to develop, and this will also likely have a tornado possible signature on this, as well as with this as it continues eastward. And again, I'll be continuing to relay reports. Our possible hazards for today associated with these storms in particular could be small to medium hail, the possibility of strong winds, and the possibility of multiple tornadoes today. Yeah, high godly. So yeah, I know, I could hear it too. My keyboard is loud. Okay. Um, so currently, we're just focusing on these two systems in particular while this one develops. We'll give this one time to develop further down south, and then we also have this one further up north, which is associated with very strong winds that are continuing to increase. They are now up to 46 knots to 59 knots, or 46 knots to 49 knot or miles per hour, not knots. They are. This is increasingly strong winds. They are getting stronger and stronger with every radar update. They are continuing to increase over time. They do have the chance of getting up to. There wasn't a had significant region for wind in this region in particular. However, I think there possibly could be at this point. There was the possibility of 40 knots or higher, and now it's getting up to 49 miles per hour. Or there wasn't the possibility of 40 knots or higher. It was just a 15% wind threat, but now we're getting wind speeds up to 49 miles per hour or higher. They're getting up to almost 50 knots or 50 miles per hour or higher. This is an increasingly dangerous situation, and if you live in Rockford, uh, I suggest that you move inside. You do not want to be caught outside in you do not want to be caught outside in this. And if you live in Rockford, make sure you're securing any loose items that are outside. May that be like umbrellas, chairs, or anything that could blow away in the wind. If you live in Rockford at this time, as strong damaging winds are on your way and could definitely do a little bit of damage to any items that are outside. You still have time to get those items inside or in a safe area, and I suggest you do that as you still have time right before this system begins to move in your area. You might be getting a little bit of rain already in the eastern part of Rockford, or the western part of Rockford. However, it's going to slowly increase, and then the southern parts of Rockford should get some heavy amounts of rain. And there's a little pocket further up north that could be some high amounts of rain as well. Although right now it doesn't look like there's all that much of a possibility of small hail so far. However, there could be the possibility of small to medium hail as this system continues eastward. And then I will continue to monitor this system further down south as it continues eastward as well, and it continues to develop. Currently, the winds on that are getting up to the 30 knots, or 30 miles per hour, the 31, 33 miles per hour, possibly even higher, possibly getting up to 30 to 35 miles per hour. And now they're getting up into the widespread. In the further up north squall line, they're getting up into the widespread 45 to 50 miles per hour or higher. So again, if you live in Rockford, make sure you're bringing any loose or unsecure items into your house at this time, as you still have time to bring those items into your into a safe area so they don't blow away in 40 mile per hour winds, possibly getting up to 50 mile per hour winds. So definitely bring those items inside as you still have time. Oh my god, I can't type. There's not really like a very good radar site to view this on. It's kind of like in between 3 different radar sites. So the information might be a little warped as it begins to move farther away from the radar site. It could be either exaggerated or downplayed by the radar site, and we may not be getting accurate readings. You can see the velocity like kind of stops here. You can see it warping. So as well as the reflectivity, you can see it getting very warped the further out you go. So it's beginning to get into an area where it's going to be harder to read, and between like 3 different radar sites. So it's going to become a little difficult for a few more minutes. Not a few minutes. It's probably going to be a little hard to read the radar site for possibly 30 minutes or more. That's my guess. KD of N seems to be the best. I don't have any radar site names on this. It's just random circles that I can click. Davenport is KDVN. I don't know where that is. Oh, Davenport, the one I'm on. Okay. Look at the top of my screen. I don't know what I'm looking for. This is Radar Omega. Oh, KDVN. Okay. I'm blind. But increasing reflectivity, this system is beginning to, again, it's continuing to increase with time. It's now getting up into the 53 miles per hour now. The upper 49, or the upper 40 miles per hour, and the low 50s now. So this is extremely strong. This is extremely fast wind gusts. And again, if you because of how warp velocity is now, I wouldn't expect this region in particular to be all that accurate. It's likely getting extremely contaminated by the distance of the radar site. However, there are definitely probably some fairly strong wind gusts associated with this storm in particular. And it does look like as this continues the way it does, strong reflectivity right here, and as this continues to push southeast, these edges could wrap back around, and especially for the northern one, the furthest east one, it could definitely begin to rotate. So I'll be sure to watch that closely as this continues the way it is. And it does look like there is possibly a little bit of rotation already right here. With the winds are really quickly and or really fast, and it's moving like sort of parallel to the radar site. The radar site is right here, so it's sort of moving kind of parallel. If it's moving southeast, KMXK, so it's a giant system over the water. Okay, so what that is the current that's a current MCV that is currently going. It's using up all the moisture and instability of the atmosphere to keep it going. It's what we call a mesoscale convective system, and it basically just uses tons and tons of resources in the atmosphere to keep itself going over time, which is basically what this is doing. But extremely strong directional shear left in the wake by this MCV is causing extremely strong directional shear, and that's what's causing the that 10% tornado threat with that hatch significant region. Yeah, it's sort of moving parallel to the radar site, but you can see if I play that again, you can see how it's like it was a straight line. Now it's sort of bowing. That's going to cause the possibility of a tornado, possibly, if it continues the way it does. If this continues to wrap back around with developing rotation, you can see a little bit of it right there. It's very weak, but it is beginning to develop. If this continues to wrap around the way it is, it could definitely develop the possibility of a tornado in the near future. And we still have that tornado watch for basically the entire region of Chicago so far. So Chicago is definitely in a very big bullseye. How will this affect the grouse population? Somewhat genuine question. I mean, if a tornado does, I don't know, if a tornado does develop and it's in a area of lots of grouses, I guess, I don't know, probably kill them all and decrease the grouse population. Not a lot, because there will probably still be a lot after that, if that's what you were looking for as an answer. Okay, if it's in East Tennessee, then it's not going to do anything. You're welcome, I guess. Interesting. Okay, and you can see the wind speeds are just continuing to increase. They are slowly increasing. They're now getting into the 50 miles per hour and the upper 40s into the 49. It's in the 48 to 52 mile per hour range. So we can definitely see some pretty strong wind gusts associated with this system in particular. And if you live in any of the areas like that's about to be impacted, like Leaf River and Bryan, you have I think maybe a few minutes. So I don't suggest trying it. But if you're in some place like Oregon or White Rock, then I suggest moving. Not Oregon. Oregon looks to be mostly in the clear, but further down in the southwest, there are some developing systems, so I don't know if you want to try it. You might not want to. You might just want to stay in your safe place for now. You could, if you live in any of the areas that are further away, like White Rock or Davis Junction or New Millard or Monroe Creek, or if you have enough time before the storms impact your location, I suggest taking the time to get any loose items. Not anything important, as you probably don't have all that much time left, but anything important that could be blown away in the wind, and bring them inside to a safe location. But other than that, I don't suggest taking it outside to or going outside to get anything like your trash can or anything. If you have time, then you definitely could, but only if you don't have all that much time. Yeah, just deal with it. Chat as a subscriber. That's a joke, by the way. Don't hold me accountable for that. It's more so just to like prevent like a bunch of people raiding the chat all at once and just spamming it with random stuff. But yeah, you can see that continues to wrap around on the northern end. You can see it continuing here. It is continuing to bow out. And again, as it continues to bow out on the northern side, maybe even the southern side, it's not as prominent on the southern side. But some rotation could definitely be developing right up in there. And you can see it right here on the velocities too again. It could definitely be, there could be a possibility of a tornado in the near future associated with this system in particular. Also, please maybe try and refrain from saying stuff like that in the chat, I guess. I don't want to sound like a nerd for saying that, but still. I'd want to keep this, like, chat not all crazy and toxic and stuff. Yeah, I do not condone bullying and harassment. I do not do not do that in my chat, please. You will be removed. I am just gonna post the Discord again if you want to join it, just cause. And it's a good place for oh nope, that's the YouTube link. Don't worry about that. That's the YouTube link for the, I think, live, I think. But I'll send the link to the Discord again, just cause. And it's a good place for anything that's related to the Project Gladiator. Not it's anything. It's good for anything related to Project Gladiator. I try to post constant weather outlooks if it's something significant, or if there's a confirmed tornado on the ground. I try to post the significant warnings associated with that. And it's overall just a good place if you're either interested in weather, want to learn more about weather, or just want a forecast for your particular location. We are still growing, so hopefully it should be pretty good in the future. Okay, so currently, it does look like the southern end is more bowing out than the northern end, which honestly I was not really expecting that all that much, and that would be rotating in a clockwise direction. So I'm not sure. It may not develop. However, because it's rotating in a clockwise direction, it does look like there might be a small amount of rotation. It's very weak, and it's probably not going to issue a tornado warning. It's probably not going to warrant a tornado warning, so it's probably going to be good for now in that sense. But I'll continue to watch these two developing systems. Right now, it does look like they might be on track to merge, and when they do merge, they have the possibility of growing with intensity as the storm masses do merge. So currently, the wind speeds are getting up to 53 miles per hour now, so they are continuing to increase with time as they continue eastward. The tornado watch, I don't think, is going to be going away for a while at least. And I am not good with math in my head, so I don't know how long. 300 minutes is in hours. It's 5 hours. So we have 5 hours until the tornado watch expires. It might be prolonged. It probably won't be prolonged because in 5 hours it's going to be on EST, which I'm currently in that time zone. It will be it's going to be 11 p.m. So I don't think the watch is going to be extended. The EF rating, well, there's still not a confirmed tornado, and the tornado warning that happened earlier, um, it probably wasn't confirmed. The rotation was very weak. It was very broad, and then it died down immediately. So, I don't think there was a confirmed tornado with that, but we still have the possibility of tornadoes in the future with these storms in particular. And with the hatch significant region associated with that 10% tornado threat, we definitely have the possibility of violent tornadoes. The possibility of tornadoes that get up to EF2 to EF5 or EF1. They would typically be around EF1 to EF0 if we don't have that hatch significant region, but they still have the possibility, a low possibility, of getting to the violent ranges. But with that hatch significant region, they have more of an increased possibility, or more expected, to get up to that EF2 to EF5 range. Hold on. If ABC, if you're still tuned into the live stream, I'll try and figure out the issue with the radar scope while I'm still waiting on more updates. So I am 100% sure there's a setting that turns on warnings. Okay, if you go to settings, if you press like the two dials things that you can like switch on and off. If you go to layers, you can see warnings, watches, discussions, and statements. You can turn on tornado or severe thunderstorm warnings. You can turn on tornado or severe thunderstorm watches. You can turn on discussions or mesoscale discussions and special statements. So if you go to layers, you should be able to find it. It may be a radar scope plus thing, but I'm pretty sure it isn't, because you can just find like regular old tornado watches on the National Weather Service app. So, but currently Rockford is being impacted. If you live in Rockford at this time, I do not suggest going outside, as very strong winds could likely be damaging. Currently, winds are expected to be up to the 40 miles per hour, 46 miles per hour, to possibly even 50 miles per hour. So I do not suggest going outside currently if you live in Rockford. And then continuing into Bryan, you can see increased reflectivity here. It is getting into a little bit of the very dark purples, so some small hail could definitely be associated with this system in particular as it continues to increase and strengthen over time. Bryan is likely about to be impacted, or if not, is already being impacted by some small hail, as well as winds up to 40 to 50 miles per hour. So I do not suggest going outside in. Do not go outside in this current situation if you live in Bryan or Rockford. And then back on those developing cells, back down to the south. They are beginning to develop, and they do look like increasingly on track. If I do the playback here, they are on track to merge in the near future. And cell mergers are absolute monsters. They have the possibility of using the increased mass to really increase their strength and allow for the possibility of even stronger wind gusts and possibly an increased possibility of tornadoes after these merge. Even though all these already have the possibility of tornadoes attached to them, it could increase with the increased mass of the systems as these merge in the near future. So as for the Boeing, it doesn't, on this system in particular, the Boeing, with that possible tornado potential attached to that, it doesn't look like there is all that much of a Boeing out anymore. It is slightly Boeing, so it could continue to continue that direction and have a decreased tornado potential as time continues forward. And could become straight again, but still, this allows for the possibility of strong damaging winds and some small hail. And I would pull up the, I would disable the SBC Outlook if I could, but I lost the menu somewhere in Radar Scope, so I kind of can't. It's not there for me anymore. I think it went down out of frame, so I can't grab it anymore to disable the SBC Outlook. SPC Outlook, the Storm Prediction Center, they issue basically like this thing. You can see marginal here, which is like basically like you have the possibility of some severe weather. The slight risk is like you probably will get some severe weather. The enhanced risk is basically just the enhanced risk, and then they also issue threats for tornadoes, wind and hail, and currently Chicago is inside an enhanced risk, and as well as for the tornado threat, it is a 10% with that significant region, which again allows for the means that there's the possibility of tornadoes that could be violent, EF2 to EF5 strengths or max. Typically, if you didn't have that hatch significant region, you still have the possibility of getting up to the EF2 or EF3 range, but it's not as probable, and it's more likely to stay in that EF0 to EF1 range. But with the hatch significant region, there's a basically a high chance that you get at least a 2% tornado, or not a 2%, a EF2 tornado. That could be, so that means that there's the possibility of the entire spectrum, a high possibility of the entire spectrum of tornadoes today. And last time we had that 10% tornado threat with that hatch significant region, I was on vacation, and it was for, I think, I don't know, it was for Ohio and Kentucky, I think. And then the last time I made a forecast for a region that had a hatch significant tornado threat was that moderate threat in the Dixie Alley here. And we got multiple tornadoes with that one. And even large and dangerous tornadoes, so we definitely have the possibility of strong tornadoes today. And then especially back in the, I think Illinois, we did have that 5% with that moderate, and I think maybe with that 10% tornado threat, it was either one of the days when there was that moderate threat or that 10% tornado threat with that enhanced risk region for Kentucky and Ohio. There was a violent tornado that tore through a town, and it was really sad. So we definitely have the possibility of violent tornadoes today, and possibly expected weak tornadoes today. So today's going to be a dangerous situation for the Chicago region. As for the reason why there isn't a 10% tornado threat in today's daily forecast is because I made the forecast when it was, I think it was still like 3 p.m. I was having technical issues with my computer, so my computer kept shutting on and off, and it was making it extremely difficult. And by the time I actually managed to post the video after it was all recorded, there was already that 10% tornado threat, so I was a little late to that. And even basically the SIGTOR models, that's for basically for the SBC, that helps with SBC guidance. I think on the HREF models on the SBC's website, they have the SBC guidance tab with that basically SIGTOR, but it basically simulates what the SBC might forecast as far as tornado potential. and there was a 10% for that region, even though I think Cape right now, I could pull up pivotal weather models again, but I'm pretty sure Cape around this time was supposed to be in the triple digits. So overall, it was supposed to be pretty weak and not really supposed to warrant this type of severe weather event. But I probably will really quickly try and look at what the Cape is now, what it's currently forecasted for the pivotal weather models. Because last time it was a little weird, and I didn't understand why there could have possibly been a 10% tornado threat. Okay, so it does look like the models did upgrade or update recently. They're now forecasting Cape values that are supposed to be in the 1000s, upper 1000s to the mid 2000s, possibly upper 2000s range. So with the given directional shear that we have, we are expected to have, I think, let me check. With a given Cape, in the shear that we have, the directional shear, we have extremely strong directional shear. Right in front of storms in southern Wisconsin, it's expected that shear is going to get up to, never mind, hold on, that's contaminated. Give me a second. We're expected to have storm relative helicity, or directional shear, up to 600, no, there's no way. 663 knots of shear. There's no way. No, effective inflow, 188 knots. So that's very, very strong wind shear, or directional shear, which is the main shear that, compared to speed shear, is the main shear that overall helps with tornado potential. And you can see, again, as wind speeds are continuing to develop, they're now getting up to 70 miles per hour or higher. Or even up to the upper 60 miles per hour. And you can see developing rotation here. This is back towards the radar site, and this is away from the radar site. And that is right up in here, I think, on the reflectivity. So we have developing rotation. This could definitely become, this could possibly be tornado warning in the near future, but this is developing rotation as this continues. And if we look at the playback, I'm pretty sure you can see it develop a little bit. Yeah, I can see that developing right there. So we definitely have the tornado possible signature with these storms in particular. Is they are weak tornadoes, I think, are expected today, with the possibility of violent tornadoes. And I'll continue to monitor this rotation as it continues. And we did already have one tornado warning already, but it died down extremely quickly. Also, make sure, if you're currently tuning in to today's live stream, if you live in this region in particular, I highly suggest watching today's forecast. It could provide some valuable information about the setup. And if you live in the enhanced risk region further down southwest, then I suggest watching today's forecast even more, because I likely will not be focusing on that region at all in today's live stream, and I will only be focusing on weather for this region in particular with today's live stream, as our main tornado potential is going to be up here. But I do suggest checking out the pivotal weather, not pivotal weather. I do suggest checking out the SPC or not SBC. I do suggest checking out today's daily forecast if you live in the enhanced risk region. Let's take a look at it really quickly. We do have this cell that we have two cells that are developing with the possibility of large to medium hail. So do keep that in mind if you live in that area. Hold on, I will be right back. I'm getting a call. Alright, and we are back. So, currently, I don't think we got radar update in that short amount of time, but we are still looking at extremely strong winds. However, they could be getting contaminated the further away from the radar site they go. However, we do have the possibility of wind speeds up to, or wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour or even higher, like getting up to into as high as 70 miles per hour. So we definitely have the possibility of very strong wind gusts associated with these storms. It's already been almost an hour and I'm still on this. It's barely done anything. Okay, so back towards the Chicago region, closer to downtown but further southeast, we do have some cells that are beginning to develop just west of Oswego. That's an odd name to name a town, and north of Yorkville. This could be slowly developing. If we take a look at the playback, I haven't been focusing on this too much, but it does look like this is these three are some developing systems. So we definitely have the possibility of some medium hail, small to medium hail, as these continue. As these continue to develop, we definitely have the possibility of medium hail, medium to small hail. There's not really all that much of a threat for large hail associated with this region in particular, but I will try to keep an eye on these three systems in particular. But I think our main threat for right now is going to be these systems, and I think they might be closer to this radar site. Yeah, they are. So now you're going to be looking at green reflectivity, and it definitely was being contaminated a little bit. You see, it's no longer like the 60 mile per hour wind gusts. They are now just mainly in the 30 mile per hour. So 30 miles per hour. So definitely, if you have time, if you're in the affected areas, you definitely have the chance to get outside and get anything that could possibly be blown away. However, I think 30 mile per hour wind gusts should be fine. More so if they were like 40 mile per hour wind gusts or higher. So I think you should be fine. Just I don't suggest going outside in these systems in particular, as they could definitely allow for the possibility of some small hail and torrential downpours. Hello, Mr. Glitch. How are you doing? You can see that there is that rotation still there, a little bit though. It's very weak though on the closer radar sites. So but I'll be sure to keep a close eye on all three of these things. You see, it does look like that all of these are beginning to rapidly develop. They are developing extremely quickly with time. This is like, you can see a little bit of dark purple there. That is going to be small hail, and possibly small medium hail, but definitely small hail at least, and crazy heavy rain. So if you live in any of the affected areas, I think, where is this going towards? It is moving northeast towards Montgomery. So if you live in Montgomery or Aurora, go inside. I do not suggest being outside in this particular situation. It does look like on this cell in particular, it could become a cell merger, or it could be a cell splitter. It looks like these two developed close to one another, but it does look like there is a small hook. It does look like there is a small hook developing on the backside of the further southwest system. This could become tornadic, and I'll continue to keep a close eye on this. Actually, you can see the hook here, and then the inflow notch, as well as what looks like a little bit of rotation right here. The radar site is now down there, so you can see counterclockwise rotation. This could definitely become tornadic in the near future, and I'll continue to keep a close eye on this cell. And as it looks like it could merge with this cell right here. So when they do merge, they could use that gained mass to help rotate even further and just overall become more intense with the increased mass. Okay, so we just got a new radar update. You can see that cell is still here. It is being contaminated a little bit with like, I think, birds and stuff near the radar site. You can see it's getting increasingly close to the radar site. It is a very small cell. It's just barely developed, and it's already developing some pretty strong rotation. I wish the draw tool would like draw on either side on like it does on radar scope. That's one downside of radar Omega. But you can see that hook here, and the developing rotation that does look like it has increased in intensity since the last radar update. So I will continue to keep a very close eye on this cell in particular. This could definitely possibly become tornadic in the near future. But let's check back up on the system that is currently near, or it's already passed over Rockford. That was extremely quick, and we just passed an hour on the live stream. So as far as wind speeds, it is a little bit farther from the radar site, but now it's reaching up to 40 miles per hour. Behind that, actually, but ahead of that, you can see that there are wind gusts up to I don't know, actually. I can't tell if, like, because sometimes velocity is a little bit behind. It could be back here on velocity, or it could be right here. Who knows? But we definitely have some pretty strong wind gusts, either behind or right underneath or associated with that system. So we could definitely see wind gusts up to 40 knots or 40 mile per hour to 30 to the upper 30 miles per hour associated with the system. And you can see a little bit of developing rotation as well right here. I will continue to keep a close eye on it right here. See developing rotation. And overall it is weak so far. It is pretty small. It could be pretty tight, but it's overall very weak so far. So, and it is moving towards the radar site really quickly. So I will again continue to keep a close eye on that. But then since we got a new radar update, I can take a look at this radar site. I think there should be a less crazy looking radar site that should help me get a better view. That is not helping. I guess we're stuck with this. We have this hook here. We got the hook. It is being contaminated a little bit, but if we look at the velocity here, I lost velocity on the other side. But if we look at the velocity, you can still see the rotation right there. It is still being contaminated a little bit, but the hook is still here, and it definitely could be tornadic in the near future. As well as with this rotation right here, this could also become tornadic in the near future. It really all depends, but I will keep a close eye on both locations. If you live in Kirkland, as these storms continue to move, you can see very deep reflectivity here, very, very deep reds. They're not in the dark purples yet, but this could still be associated with small hail. Maybe, possibly, pea size, pea to dime size, possibly associated with this storm in particular. And as this moves towards Kirkland, it could definitely develop some small hail and some strong damaging outflow gusts. Currently, they're reading up to, I think, 40 miles per hour now behind that in the center of that storm. So if you live in Kirkland, I do not suggest going outside at this time. This live stream has almost gotten us to 50 subscribers. That is insane. Thank you guys a ton for that. I think we started off with like 20 subscribers, and now we're at like almost 50. That's absolutely insane. It's been about, I don't know, how many months has it been? It's been 1, 2, and 3. It's been 3 months so far. We're going on our 4th month, and we're already at 50 subscribers. That's actually insane. Thank you guys a ton for that. And thank you guys for all the support towards Project Gladiator. Then back towards that possible tornadic supercell, you can see still very strong reflectivity up in there. Reflectivity is back in the dark purples. It was in the deep red before, but now it's back in the dark purples, which could definitely be significant enough for small hail, possibly some small medium hail. It still doesn't have a severe thunderstorm warning. And as it moves into Montgomery, into a heavily populated area, and as this hook continues to develop, with developing rotation as it continues with every radar update, this could definitely become a dangerous situation pretty soon. And I will definitely continue to keep an eye on this. Keep up the good work, weatherman, of weathering weatherness. Yeah, thank you. But you can see that hook is becoming very prominent here. I would not be surprised if they issued a tornado warning very, very soon. Again, if you live in this area, there is that enhanced risk region for basically the Chicago region with a tornado watch that expires in like I think 5 hours. There's still no severe thunderstorm warnings at all. However, I think some of this should maybe have a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm not sure. It really all depends. But this could definitely have a tornado warning issued in the near future as a very prominent hook is beginning to develop. And with this enhanced risk region, this is targeting the downtown Chicago region. This could be a very dangerous situation today. So if you live in this area, please stay weather alert for the time being, as for tornado threat, we have a 10% tornado threat with a hatch significant region. That means the possibility of violent tornadoes, strong tornadoes, tornadoes that could be EF5 to EF2. If we didn't have that hatch significant region, they would be mostly in the EF0 to EF1. However, with the hatch significant region, we have the possibility. Even without the hatch significant region, we would still have the possibility of an EF5 tornado. However, it would be extremely low. But the hatch significant region means that we have at least a low possibility for EF2 tornadoes. So that could mean that could be a very this could be a very dangerous situation. And I think the hatch significant region means, give me a second, if I go back to the SPC, I'm pretty sure it was a 10% or higher for, the hatch significant region means that there is a hatched area of 10% or greater probability of EF2 to EF5. So at least a low chance of EF2 to EF5 tornadoes. So that's at least a EF5, or at least a 10% tornado, at least a 10% chance of violent tornadoes. So we definitely have the possibility of strong tornadoes today. And the reason the thumbnail isn't too accurate today is because, again, I did post today's forecast, late after, 4 p.m., but I was having technical difficulties, so after, everything was already recorded and edited, it was past 4 p.m. already, so I couldn't go back and record it all. So now we're here, and you can see it's a still very prominent hook. Oh, okay. With the new radar update, you can see that there's still that hook here. You can still see it here. It does look like it could possibly be a low precipitation supercell here, with very low reflectivity towards that hook region where the updraft is. However, with the hail color here, small hail, it looks like possibility of more small hail, because the purple's now gone, and as it gets closer to the radar site, it's going to be more and more accurate. But you can see that hook here. You can still see that hook there. It's probably a low precipitation supercell. If we had a tornado, it would be up in there, and you can still see it's hard to tell, but because of the contamination, but it does look like there's rotation up in there. So there is definitely still that hook associated with the supercell, and as this moves increasingly closer to downtown Chicago, this could become a dangerous situation very, very quickly. And I'll continue to update you guys, and then back towards the cells that were back in Kirkland. It's now impacting Kirkland, the possibility of small hail and heavy rain. You can see that there is a little bit of rotation here, and what looks like to be maybe an inflow notch right here. So I will keep an eye on that still, but you can definitely see increasing rotation with that, as well as increasing rotation with this. You can see that it probably is rotation, as stronger reflectivity is right there. Or not reflectivity, stronger velocity is right there. So there could definitely be some developing rotation, and could definitely be tornadic in the near future. And then let's take a look at that enhanced risk region. I said I probably wasn't gonna take a look at it. However, I probably will. Why is what so red? The velocities? Are you talking about the velocities on this side of the screen? The red. You're not giving me much to go off of. I'm not sure what you mean by red. Oh, the velocities on this side. Okay, okay. So the deeper the color, you can see it here. So right in the center there, this is velocity. So yeah, I know the live stream is heavily delayed. So even if you say your response, my response may not get to you all that quick. So what the velocities are. Red is moving away from the radar site, and green is moving towards the radar site. So you can see towards the center here on this gradient, this is this is basically very weak winds, like 0 mile per hour winds. And then on the spectrum on either side, the farther out you go on either side, the higher those winds go. So if you go if you have blue on the velocity, it's moving towards the radar site at a very strong wind speeds. But if you have red or yellow, then it means that it's moving away from the radar site. And if you have yellow, then it's moving away from the radar site on a very quickly. It's moving away from the radar site with very strong winds. Okay, so we did get a tornado warning for that cell in particular that I did say probably would go tornadic in the near future. You see that here. It's kind of hard to tell with a bunch of contamination in the way. This could be the hook, or either this could be the hook. And this could be a very dangerous situation as this continues eastward. As it continues to move through more and more increasingly populated areas, this could definitely become a very dangerous situation as this continues. You can see I cannot tell where the velocities are at this time, or I cannot tell where the rotation is at this time. Yeah, there's a tornado warning for Aurora, back towards the where would Aurora be? Okay, back towards Aurora, right here. So we got this tornado warning. I cannot tell where the rotation is at this time. It is way too contaminated, but you can definitely see the hook here, and there could also be a little bit of spotter reports in the region that could help with forecasting this, forecasting this tornado warning here. You can definitely see the hook there, and as I said, there is increasing rotation, likely as it moved towards the radar site. It's way too difficult to see, as it's way too close to the radar site, but as this moves through increasingly populated areas, this is a very dangerous situation, and it could definitely become tornadic in the very near future. We may want to start looking towards, we definitely may want to start looking towards our correlation coefficient now, to see if there could be any sign or indicator that any tornado could be on the ground. What correlation coefficient is, you see all the so it's basically, it's not like velocities on the spectrum here. It's more of like a low end on this side, and then a high correlation coefficient on this end. So what it means, the lower the correlation coefficient, the lower the sizes of those objects in the atmosphere correlate to each other. So you have rain, they're all likely the same size, so it will be a high correlation coefficient. But if you have a low correlation coefficient associated with tight rotation and a hook on a radar and a tornado warning, you probably have a tornado on the ground, because it's probably kicking up like a bunch of debris in the atmosphere, which will cause a low correlation coefficient. And correlation coefficient will basically, it's basically like, basically, if you have like a bunch of nails in the atmosphere from like houses being torn apart, and then you have the it's correlation coefficient. There is a meaning to it, but it's say you have like a bunch of sheet metal in the atmosphere. That's extremely large pieces, and then you have like a bunch of nails in the atmosphere, and then you have like pieces of debris in the atmosphere. All those pieces of debris do not correlate to each other in size. So there's going to be a low correlation coefficient in that region, which will be a very good indicator if there's a tornado on the ground associated with tight rotation or a hook that's in the region. But I still cannot see the rotation. I still have no idea where it is. It's probably because it's correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient is a pain to look at. Yeah, just get new eyes. It's that simple. Why didn't you think about that one? One is Christmas, one is Halloween. Yeah. So, this is definitely going to become a very dangerous situation in the near future if it continues the way it is. Again, as it continues this direction, you can see that hook now. You see it very much more prominently, and it's likely going to, as it continues to move through a very populated area, it's definitely going to allow for the possibility of some a very dangerous situation going into the near future. Project Gladiator doesn't need take his on God, for real, for real. What's that mean? Hey, Peanut, please try to refrain from that in the chat, please. Next time you do it, it's going to be deleted, by the way, so. Hold on, I actually need to update the website really quickly. I have not posted an update on the website for today, so give me a few seconds. Currently, I have no idea what's going on with the tornado warning right now. I have no clue. I'm just hoping it gets extended or anything, and it allows me to have an idea of where we're looking. Right now, I have no clue what we're looking for, but there is that tornado warning, so if you live in this region, this is a very dangerous situation as this continues. If you live in the region affected by this tornado warning, please listen to that tornado warning and get underground, get into the most interior room of your house, like a closet. If you have a basement, go into the basement, and if you don't have a basement, go into the most interior room of your house. Put as many walls between you and the outside as humanly possible, and stay away from windows or doors, as those could possibly be blown open, and you don't want flying glass everywhere. So please stay safe if you live in this region in particular, as this could be a very dangerous situation in the near future. Ignoring the right side? Yeah, I personally, I have no idea what's going on with velocity. Hold on, I'm trying to update the website just really quickly. Alright, I'll remember you when I'm famous, I guess. I'm famous with 50 subscribers. Wait, no. I think... Yeah, 50 subscribers! Yay! We've actually broken the limit. I was not expecting to get to 50 subscribers this quickly. Thank you guys for all the support. I really was not expecting it to grow this quickly. Living on the dance floor, I think I'll try to put something somewhere that makes me remember who you are. But again, thank you guys for your support. Alright, so we got some cells back towards the southwest. They are moving directly towards the radar site now. Um, oh, wait, you actually donated? I mean, we got that GoFundMe going, but... anyways, we have this... anyway, we have yeah, okay, so we have the... What am I trying to say here? We have two cells that are developing to the southwest of the radar site now. They are developing fairly quickly now. They do look like they have some developing hooks on them that could become tornadic in the near future. Doesn't look like there is all that much rotation that is apparent at all, really, as there's sort of a ring around the radar site, like right here, where you cannot tell anything. This close to the radar site is extremely contaminated, and I hate it. But there is definitely the possibility of tornadoes attached to these two supercells in particular. It does look like the two supercells that were back towards the Chicago region did merge, and they could use that increased mass to develop even further, and with the increased mass, they could grow in intensity. And if you live in this region in particular, again, please stay weather alert for the time being, as this could be a very, very dangerous situation, as this enhanced risk and 10% tornado threat with the possibility of violent tornadoes targets the downtown Chicago region. There was another tornado warning that was just updated, probably attached to this system in particular. It's still in heavily populated areas. This is extremely populated areas, and will likely, this could definitely possibly become tornadic in the near future. If not already is tornadic, it does look like this is probably the rotation right here. This could be a low precipitation supercell, with a hook that you couldn't see, because the updraft would be in a very would be in an area with not a lot of what am I trying to say here? Not a lot of rainfall, so it could be a low precipitation supercell. However, it doesn't look like that's the case with the new warning update. It's now in a much smaller region and was updated to the region that does have that very weak hook, it looks like, right here, with very weak reflectivity. But you could definitely see the rotation on the velocities now. So this is definitely going to become an increasingly dangerous situation as time goes forward with this with these supercells in particular. Alright, it looks like the... Okay, never mind, the website isn't completely updated because we have 50 subscribers now, yay! Yes, you were 50th, and you saw live, and you subscribed. So, continuing with that tornadic supercell, I'm still confused. I don't know what we're looking for in terms of rotation. It's extremely close to the radar site, though. Alright, I might have some background noise in the here in a few minutes. Some loud background noise. You probably already hear it. Yeah, with the new radar update, that hook is now over here. Let's take a look at the correlation. Okay, never mind. We could get 2 tornado warnings here in a second. We have this supercell in particular, main supercell, 2 embedded supercells, 1 developing hook here and another hook here that could warrant two different tornado warnings. So this could definitely become a very dangerous situation in the very near future, and there could possibly even be another one developing to the north. And as this continues to move through heavily populated areas, I will continue to relay reports, as this is a very, very dangerous situation as this continues eastward. And we could definitely get 2 tornado warnings, possibly with this system in particular. It doesn't look like there's all that much of a coalition coefficient drop yet that could show us that there could possibly be a tornado on the ground just yet. So and let's take a look at the storms that are back towards, I don't know where they are anymore. How far has these moved? How far has this moved? Okay, it's moved pretty far so far. Right now it's impacting Charter Grove. It's about to impact Burlington, Sycamore. I don't know how you pronounce that. Richardson, Virgil, Lily Lake, Burlington Hills, Salina, North Plate, and Briarwood, and any other place that you see in this region in particular. So if you live in this region in particular, very strong winds could be associated with this storm. Currently, they're looking up to possibly 40 miles per hour. Right now, it's reading 38 miles per hour on the radar. However, they could be higher or lower, as it's mainly just radar. In reality, we don't really know how strong they are if we're not actually in there. If we're not actually there to see how strong they are. However, this could definitely be some fairly strong winds. If you live in any of the areas that are affected or could possibly be affected, please do not go outside in this time, as this could definitely be a possibly dangerous situation. And then we still have the 2 possible tornadic supercells back towards the downtown Chicago region. Again, this could be a very dangerous situation in the near future. And they are just continuing to develop even further. You can see the rotation right here now, going towards the radar site, going away from the radar site, counterclockwise rotation associated with that hook, the more prominent hook that you see, and then you can see back here you have, I think, another hook that could be beginning to be taken back into the cell, as well as maybe another one that's further out west. This could, again, definitely be a very dangerous situation in the very near future. And with this supercell in particular, you can see the possibility of some small hail, maybe some small medium hail, with reflectivity that is getting up to the dark purples. This could definitely be, that could definitely mean small hail, as well as some strong damaging winds could also be associated with the system. There's not a tornado warning with these cells anymore. However, it's kind of hard to tell. There could be one that is issued in the very near future associated with these cells, but again, it really all depends. Right now, there's not a tornado warning. It hasn't been continued. It doesn't look like there is all that much prominent rotation. The only place I can really see prominent rotation is possibly right here. It's very, very hard to tell though, because it's so contaminated because of how close it is to the radar site. But again, this still does have the possibility of developing a tornado associated with these cells. So if you live in the region in particular, please stay weather alert for the time being. And if you're in the tornado warning, again, move into the most interior room of your house, into a basement if you have one. Do not try to go outside to grab anything that could fly away. That is not worth risking your life. If you're in the tornado warning, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you don't have a basement, like a closet or the most interior room of your house, do not go into any upper floors. Stay in the lowest floor of your house, and again, put as many walls between you and the outside world. This could, again, be a very dangerous situation. And make sure you're staying weather alert for the time being if you live in this particular location. Okay, so it does look like overall the hooks are beginning to be taken back into the tornado. Not tornado. It looks like the hooks are overall beginning to weaken, and either it's a low precipitation supercell and you can't really see them all that well, or they're being taken back into the supercell in particular and is beginning to not rotate anymore. However, I just found our new target. We have another developing supercell here, a very prominent supercell. You can probably already see the hook here. You can see that hook here, right here, this hook, and then the main supercell. Probably, it doesn't look like there's all that much hail associated with it, as it's probably just some torrential downpour, but you can also see the inflow notch here, and our tornado could possibly be right up in there. You can see on the velocities, we do have some pretty strong rotation. It is fairly broad so far, but it is pretty strong, and could definitely be associated with a tornado warning in the very near future. A tornado warning could definitely be issued for this cell in particular in the very near future, and this could definitely be tornadic. This is a very dangerous situation if you live in any of the areas that are affected. Wooddale, Addison, Bennsville, especially Rosemont, Riverview, Franklin Park, Elka Grove Village, Park Ridge, Norridge, any areas that are in this area in particular are in a very dangerous spot right now. So please stay weather alert for the time being if you live in this particular area. And this tornado warning is likely going to expire in 2 minutes. Okay, and the tornado warning has disappeared. Okay. Alright, back towards that enhanced wrist, there's some action going back towards there. However, again, our main focus is going to be this 10% tornado threat with the dangerous situation that could be possible. Yeah, because I don't know what to say right now. I'm just waiting for the next radar update. I guess I could take a look back at the systems that are currently moving towards the Chicago region, or the downtown Chicago region associated, or not associated, behind the supercells. We have this system right here. We got It's forecasting, or not forecasting, radar indicated wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour to 40 miles per hour, as well as the possibility of some small hail associated with this system in particular, back further out west. And I likely will not focus on this too much. However, it does look like some small hail could definitely be associated with this thing here, this system, with this storm in particular. Some small hail could definitely be associated with that. And then I'll keep a look at these two developing supercells. I'm going to post the Discord link again, just so it's there. That's the YouTube link for today's daily forecast, don't mind that. That's for updating the website. There's the Discord link if you want to join that for either daily forecast for your current location. Yeah, so you can join the Discord if you want any updates or daily updates for your current location in terms of weather. I do daily forecasts if I have the time. I usually do, but I also do live streams on days like this, and sometimes it's a little educational. It may be meant a little bit for more advanced learners, but towards the beginning of the forecast, I do say what regions have the possibility, the greatest possibility of certain threats. So, why should I talk about the Grimace Shake? Living on the dance floor, Cherry is my username on Discord because I don't go by Project Gladiator weather forecast on Discord. That's my brand. That's not me. And you see developing rotation. This is definitely possibly going to warrant a tornado warning in the very near future. Again, if you live in this particular region, this is a very dangerous situation. Very, very strong, very strong rotation now. It's very, very strong, very broad still, but it's looking like it's beginning to tighten up with time. This is, again, a very dangerous situation as it's moving through downtown regions of Chicago. Again, this is going to be a very dangerous situation. I didn't say it wasn't my username on Discord. I said that is what my username on Discord is. Because I don't go by Project Gladiator Weather. It's my brand. Yeah, that's my brand. That's not my name, that's my brand. Yeah, you probably do know my name if you checked out the GoFundMe. Yeah, my name's definitely Michael. My name is Jacob Peabody? Okay. Is that even the name of the dude in that stupid movie? I thought it was something else, but it's whatever. Yeah, I'm not a nerd. I'm just smarter than you. Get better. That's a joke, by the way. Don't hold me accountable for that. Okay, but you can see it's continuing developing rotation over the airport now. It's moving towards the highway into increasingly more populated and densely populated areas. Again, this is a very dangerous situation as time goes forward. Further down south, it does look like that past supercell does look like it is fizzling out slowly. It could definitely be a low precipitation supercell at this point, but you can still see what looks like a hook and then some weak rotation right there. So this could still be tornadic in the near future, but our main threat up is going to be up north. But if you live in any of these areas, Park Ridge, anywhere around Park Ridge or Western Springs, please stay weather alert for the time being and watch for any warnings. My friends' name are Addison Wood, Dale Bensville, Skiller Park, and Skoiki. Okay. Are those your friends' names? Okay. Um. Okay, so it does look like the system that is back towards the west that's going to impact Lily Lake in the near future, as well as Wayne and anywhere in between. Um, it does look like they have some hooks with a little bit of very broad but strong rotation. So, and any of these smaller hooks that are sticking out could definitely become tornadic in the near future, as those are embedded tornadoes. They don't look like they have any rotation on them yet, but they could be an indicator of developing rotation with a strong updraft. And then back towards our main threat for today, or not today, but our main threat for this region. There's still not a tornado warning, but it does look like there is still that hook. You can still see that hail core here. It does look like with that dark purple and the deep red, there is the possibility of some small hail associated with this system in particular. It could again be it could be a low precipitation supercell, but you can see the hook here, so it may not. This could definitely again still be a dangerous situation, as well as with the possibility of strong winds. They are currently saying up to radar indicated 30 miles per hour wind gust, possibly the upper 30 mile per hour wind gust. So if you live in this region in particular, please stay weather alert for the time being. And if you live in any of the areas where this could be a threat, like I was about to say like Norwich, but then my radar just did something weird. There we go, it's back to normal. If you live in any of the areas like Norwich, Park Bridge, Franklin Park, or Elmwood Park, or anywhere ahead of that, like Lincolnwood, please stay weather alert for the time being. This could definitely be still a dangerous situation. You can still see the hook there, with the possibility of some small to medium hail, currently crossing over the highway with some developing rotation. Still broad, and but it's fairly strong, still broad, but it could tighten up in the near future. We do have a tornado warning further down south for that other supercell that was further down south. That I did have a tornado warning on it in the past. You can see it does have a little bit of the RF details sticking out the back, as well as a hook here with an inflow notch. and you can see if there was a tornado, it would be right up in there. You can see developing rotation right there. It's this definitely does warrant a tornado warning. If you live in any of the areas that are currently issued for this tornado warning, please stay weather alert for the time being and move into the most interior room of your house. And if you into a basement if you have one. What is rotation? Rotation is basically rotating mass in the clouds associated with either a hook or a strong updraft. And there's many factors that go into it, and it's the main factor that causes tornadoes. So if you have a like wind shear, which is the direction, the change in direction with height, the stronger that change with height is, the stronger your wind shear is, and that's going to be directional shear. You also have speed shear, which is change in speed with height. So the greater that change, the greater your wind shear is, and directional shear is the biggest factor for tornadoes. And with a strong updraft and strong instability, you can turn that wind shear essentially creates a horizontally rotating column of air, and with a strong updraft that pushes it vertical and causes rotation, a vertical rotation, which will allow for the possibility of tornadoes. So that's what people look for. Look for wind shear, and we look for instability in the same place when we're forecasting tornado potential. But you can see, again, if you live in this tornado warning, this is a very dangerous situation, as you live in this is in very populated areas. If you live in this region, yeah, we definitely you have the possibility. Okay, if you live in this region, please move into the most interior room of your house, likely a closet, and put as many walls between you and the outside world as possible, and get away from doors or windows, as those could be blown in by the tornado. If you have a basement, go into the basement and stay in the farthest. Go as far away as you can from the entrance to the basement, and if you live in this area, please stay away. Stay weather alert for the time being. And if you live in this area, if you live in the affected area, do not go outside, as who knows when the tornado could touch down. Tornadoes could touch down between radar updates, as they could, and that's a large time. You have mere minutes before you have a tornado that could touch down on the ground. So if you live in any of the regions affected by this tornado warning, do not go outside to save like anything that could be loose, to save it from like blowing away anything. Do not do that. That is a very dangerous thing to do. You do not want to go outside to go save any items that are loose. Just leave them for now. It's not worth risking your life over. Please take safety measures if you live in this affected area. And I will be right back. I have to do something really quickly. Hold on, I'm not gonna turn on the stay tuned screen because this is a dangerous situation. I'll just mute myself so you guys can get radar updates. Alright, okay, so, currently I'm back, and there is a, what looks like, strong reflectivity in that hook. It is an observed tornado warning, so, currently in that, location, we have the rotation on that side. I didn't mean to go velocity. However, we do have a strong correlation coefficient drop, so that means that there is likely a tornado on the ground at this time. If you live in any of the areas affected by this tornado warning, please go into a very into your safe place. Go into the most interior room of your house. Go into a basement if you have one. Stay away from windows or doors, and please stay safe. Do not go outside. Nothing outside is worth risking your life over, because uh, there is likely there's likely a tornado on the ground at this time. It is observed, and I will continue relaying updates. I may not be able to talk all that much because I do have food, so I'll probably stay muted for the time being, but I will relay some important updates. Okay, I am going to take a break from eating for a second to relay a report. There is a confirmed tornado on the ground. It is definitely observed. There are pictures being released on social media, and I will be sure to post them in the Project Gladiator Discord server and give credit, of course. However, this is a very dangerous situation. It's likely doing damage. The strong red that you're seeing right under that tornado warning, where that hook is, in that little circle, that is likely a debris ball, and it is likely doing destructive. It's likely doing destruction on the ground right now in this heavily populated area. This is a very dangerous situation if you live in Chicago. Downtown Chicago is definitely in a major threat for strong, severe weather today and violent tornadoes. This is definitely a tornado on the ground, and if you live in any of the areas that are affected, please stay weather alert for the time being and move into the most interior room of your house, or move into a basement or the ground level of your house. Do not go on and do not go outside. Nothing is worse risking your life over. Um, Again, this is a very dangerous situation, so please stay weather alert for the time being if you live in this particular region. Alright, I've returned. Okay, so currently this tornado is making a beeline for downtown Chicago. It's still observed. If we take a look at the correlation coefficient here, it does appear like it could still be on the ground potentially. This could be contamination, but it could definitely still be on the ground with an extended warning. Right now, this tornado is making a beeline for downtown Chicago again. If you live in Chicago or if you live in any of the areas affected, please stay weather alert for the time being and watch for any warnings. As again, we have the potential for destructive tornadoes today and very strong tornadoes. You can also see a supercell back down to the south. In downtown Chicago as well, that is beginning to develop and strengthen over time. PTS tour for KVN right now, where oh, right, okay, there's two more tornado warnings back to the west. I'm going to finish clarifying everything for these extremely dangerous tornadoes right here in downtown Chicago, the heart of Chicago right now. One of them is making a beeline for downtown, like extremely downtown and very tightly populated downtown Chicago. This has likely done damage, as you saw that debris ball a few radar updates back, and you can see this down south could also be tornado warning. Could also be tornado warned in the very near future. You can see the hook beginning to develop, as well as what looks like possible rotation as well. Our radar site is further to the west, so where our rotation would be right here. That would be our rotation, or right here as well. There's two different areas that could be our location, or it could be our rotation. However, this is a very dangerous situation. And if you live in any of these areas affected, like if you live in downtown Chicago, this is a very dangerous situation. Again, violent tornadoes could be possible for downtown Chicago. And you hate to see a observed tornado warning for downtown Chicago making a beeline directly for densely populated regions, even though it already is in extremely populated regions. Population is likely going to increase the further it goes. So this is a very dangerous situation right now. And then hopefully it turns away, but again, this is a very dangerous situation. Again, if you live in downtown Chicago or in any of the areas affected, please stay weather alert for the time being, and make sure you're watching for any warnings from the NWS. And if you're in this tornado warning, again, go to the lowest lowest floor of your house. If you have a basement, go to the basement. Stay away from the exit. And if you don't have a basement, go to the most interior room of your house, away from any doors or windows, as those could potentially be blown open by the tornado. And please stay weather alert for the time being, and make sure you have a plan in place to make it for something if something like this happens. And like you never say that it's never going to happen to you, because it's happening right now on live in downtown Chicago. It definitely has the potential to happen. So never say it's never going to happen to you. And then taking a look at our correlation coefficient for that that possible tornado warning that could be issued here in a few seconds. You can see it does look like right here. Okay, let's go into a better view here. You can see right here, it does look like there is a correlation coefficient drop. There could be two tornadoes on the ground at this time in downtown Chicago. Actually, no, it's been decreased down to one. You can see up north, the observed tornado warning is likely about to expire very, very soon. As you can see, there's not really all that much of a hook left. And if we take a look at our velocity, not our reflectivity. If we take a look at our velocity, there is a little bit of rotation there. However, it doesn't look like there's all that much of a correlation coefficient drop all in there. However, there could definitely be one. It's kind of hard to tell though, because of like how contaminated it is. But still, if you're in this warning area, again, please listen to those tornado warnings. And then back towards the supercell that is back towards the south. There is another supercell with a hook developing on it as well. You can see that hook here with the inflow notch right here and the RFD around the back. You can see the main hail core right here could have the potential for small hail, as well as the potential of some strong winds. And you can see where that hook is, where that tornado would be. There is a correlation coefficient drop, so there could potentially be a tornado on the ground associated with this system in particular. This is a very dangerous situation again, and if you live in this area, please stay weather alert for the time being. And then let's take a look at those tornado warnings that are back towards the west. if I can find the correct radar. Okay, never mind. It's been updated for these regions in particular. It does look like there's 3 different regions back west that could have that tornado warning. If we switch to velocity here, hopefully it shouldn't be as contaminated. I'm choking on my words. As further out east, can see here. You can see there's rotation right here in a notch, and then rotation right here in a notch. So there's 2 separate areas that tornadoes could be developing, as well as further up north you have some strong rotation again, with that tornado warning that's further up north, strong rotation, as well as you can even see that hook there on the reflectivity right here with the inflow notch here. So this is a very dangerous situation still. If you live in any of these areas in particular, please stay weather alert for the time being. And if we actually take a look at the correlation coefficient drop, I'm pretty sure there's not really anything indicating just yet. But if I think there's a closer radar, maybe. No, there isn't. There's not a closer radar. Again, right here, 2 possible places that could be seeing tornadic development are right here. Right here, there's a hook on this particular supercell with some, I think, strong rotation. I can't tell where it is actually. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is definitely there. You can see it right there. It's counterclockwise rotation, so you can definitely see that there. With the darker reds moving away from the radar site, but it's still everything's still moving away from the radar site. So there is rotation up in there that could definitely warrant a tornado warning or a special marine warning as this moves out into the Michigan Lake. And back over here, this could be a small hook that could be developing off another developing supercell, and it could warrant it could have developing rotation very, very soon. However, it overall right now it doesn't look like it, but it could in the near future. And as this continues, I'm surprised there was no tornado warning issued for this supercell in particular. There was definitely rotation, and there was definitely the possibility of it touching down with that small correlation coefficient drop. But then, as those move back out into the coast, or not into the coast, into Michigan Lake, I'm gonna take a look at these 3 different tornado warnings right here. So again, the main areas that we're looking for are right here on the velocities, again right here, and then right here. That's going to be a rotation. Then let's take a look at the correlation coefficient drop, or correlation coefficient. We don't know if there was a correlation coefficient drop just yet, because this is a new radar update, and it doesn't look like there is one yet. But I definitely will continue to monitor this situation as this continues, as this could, again, be a very dangerous situation here as this moves eastward into downtown Chicago. And then I'll also keep an eye on this supercell in particular as it continues out into the Michigan Lake. And you can see it looks like there's also another water spout that could be developing in the Michigan Lake right here. This supercell in particular, as you can see that hook. So again, this could be a very dangerous situation. Try to find any updates or any pictures on the current tornado that either just moved through or is currently moving through that region in particular. No promises though. I don't know if I'll actually be able to find one. So it does look like there was a prominent wall cloud with a funnel and a tornado on the ground. So I got a very good picture of it. I don't know if it confirmed, so please take it with a grain of salt. But it could definitely be a confirmed tornado that did pass through, and it was closely and heavily monitored here. I'll post the image in the Discord. I'll post the image in the Discord in the weather announcements server. Or not weather announcements server, weather announcements channel. that cell that did look like it had a developing hook back towards the downtown Chicago region. It does look like it has a more prominent hook now with the hook and the inflow notch. And I don't see any rotation just yet, but it could definitely be there in the very near future, as this hook is this is a newly developed system, and as it continues to move through downtown Chicago in the very near future, this could again be a very dangerous situation. Currently, it's on the Chicago Midway International Airport, but as it continues eastward, it could be tornado warned in the very near future if rotation develops, and it looks like it definitely could, and I will definitely keep an eye on this. But then we also have these 3 tornado warnings further back west. We have on the velocities what looks like 2 areas rotation and 1 tornado warning now. So that could warrant a second tornado warning for that. And then we also have the one further up north. And then further up north, the most northern one, we have another one. You can see very strong, very tight rotation. So this could definitely be tornadic and definitely allow for the possibility of a tornado, and it probably will with that 10% hat significant region. And let's take a look at the correlation coefficient for any drops that could be possible. And it doesn't look like it yet. It doesn't look like there's a correlation coefficient drop. However, all of these tornado warnings, except for one, the further up north one, are observed. So there could definitely be a wall cloud or a funnel developing at this time in these regions. So if you live in any of these areas, if you live in any of these warnings, please listen to those warnings and move into the most interior room of your house, into the basement or the lowest floor of your house, the most interior room. If move into the basement if you have one, away from the exit. And if you don't have a basement, move to the most interior room of your house, away from any doors or windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside world as humanly possible, and use anything like a mattress or anything to cover yourself from flying debris, as this could definitely be a very dangerous situation here, and tornadoes are definitely possible, as we already have 2 observed warnings that could be increased to 3. So yeah, I know I've said it like 20,000 times now, but there's people that come and go off the live stream, and it's good to repeat it, because you don't say it once, like towards the beginning of the stream, and then expect other people to go back and listen to that. You repeat it multiple times. Okay, something's going on with my streaming software. Okay, never mind. Right, but anyways, these 2 tornado warnings are still observed. I will continue to relay reports about them. And back towards the downtown Chicago region, we still have that supercell. I will continue to keep a close eye on in the very near future. But again, this is a very dangerous situation, and you can definitely see on the northern one there is definitely that hook there. You can definitely see the hook. Maybe a hook on the southern one here. You can see that there possibly. And then you see weakening rotation further down south in that southernmost tornado warning. And then with the new radar update, it does look like we have a more prominent hook now. This tornado warning, if it develops, could be possibly rain wrapped, as well as the one further up north. This tornado warning might expire in the very near future with only this rotation, but weakening rotation further down south. That tornado warning could be squished down to this and this, and may not have 2 large tornado warnings. But then further up north, we still have a very strong and very tight rotation. We have rotation right here on the velocities, as well as the hook on the that's not a good hook. As well as a hook on the reflectivity with the inflow notch. So there is definitely the possibility of tornadoes associated with all three of these tornado warnings. Have the possibility of tornadoes. And again, I will continue to relay reports about these systems as they continue. I think a good place to look for any like anything of the sorts about this current situation might be Twitter. Maybe I think people might, if it's a heavily populated area, there are probably Twitter reports on the current system in particular. Got one from Reed Timmer. Yeah, tornado sirens were going off in Chicago. It was a PDS tornado warning. Confirmed a large and extremely violent tornado was on track for deep downtown Chicago.
Oh my god, this is so beautiful.
There were actually 2 confirmed tornadoes that touched down by Jordan S. on Twitter. They are very prominent on the video that he posted. And all rights go to the people I just mentioned, so. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you live in any of the areas affected and you have any reports on this current situation, please feel free to, I'm not sure what you're talking about, living on the dance floor. It's a storm chaser on Twitter. I don't know what you're talking about. But, by the way, if you live in any of the regions in particular that are currently being affected by this, and you have any reports or warnings that I could relay or post to the Discord, I will give credits if you want to share that, and I'll give the link to the Discord if I can. It's not letting me. I'm not sure what Jordan S. you're talking about then. Oh, you meant Storm Chaser. I'm not sure what you're talking about. You might be referring to Reed Timmer, probably. But there's a link to the Discord. If you have any reports or updates on this current situation, if you live in this particular area and you want to share them, I will give credits. Again, we're currently looking at, I think, 3 different tornado warnings. This could have been merged into one, it looks like. It's been downgraded to radar indicated, so it's not a confirmed tornado on the ground yet. It is radar indicated. However, further up north, there is the other radar indicated tornado warning. And you can see all the different areas of rotation, like right here. We got that area of rotation. And then what looks like either right here or right here. So we got that prominent one further down south. And then we got 2 areas that could be possible up north. And then further up north, for the most northern tornado warning, we have this area of rotation right there. It's pretty strong, pretty tight. So it definitely has the possibility of being a tornado in the future. And that supercell that that did pass over Chicago has made it into the Michigan Lake. So right now it shouldn't be all that much of an issue. However, there are some developing systems to the southeast of of the current tornado warnings that could become tornadic in the very near future, and I will continue to take a look. I will continue to keep an eye on those as those continue to develop. These are still continuing to indicate radar indicated, and the one further up north will likely be updated to be extended in a few minutes here, as it's currently moving outside of its warning box. The SPC hasn't really been, or not the SPC, the National Weather Service hasn't been really good with keeping up the warnings, their respective warning boxes yet. This is better than Joe Bartolozzi's live. I haven't seen a Joe Bartolozzi live stream. Interesting. Alright. You can still see there is still rotation associated with these storms right here and right here. These will likely be split possibly into two different boxes in the very near future. There were I think four regions of rotation actually in the past, and now they're back down to, yeah, you can see a bunch of rotation along this line has just been just pumping out. It's just been tons of rotation associated with this line. Again, we do have that possibility of that we got that 10% tornado threat with the high significant region, which means the possibility of violent tornadoes up to EF2 or EF5, and then 10%, at least a 10%, at least a low potential for EF2 to EF5 tornadoes. So we definitely have the potential of strong tornadoes today, as well as expected weak tornadoes. And we already had that one that went through downtown Chicago, and I'm hoping everyone was all right during that. But that's a good example of what might happen today, and also in the near future as well. Because my dogs are fighting in the background; they're going crazy. No. I don't have any way of showing them. I might post them in the Discord server, but right now I don't have any way of showing them. I don't have a webcam. I probably won't have a webcam for a while, and I do not want to do a face reveal at this time just yet. Maybe in the future. Yeah, that's why I said I'm going to post a picture of them in the Discord later. Probably after the live stream. You will post my dogs in the Discord? Okay, let's take a look at the collision coefficient. I've just been waiting for the next radar update. Still nothing. There's not really a clear indicator of any tornadoes that might be on the ground. There's no collision coefficient drop yet. However, back southeast, or in the east, towards the downtown Chicago region, where we have a possibility of violent tornadoes for this entire region. However, back towards the Chicago region, where it's densely populated, let me switch back to velocity here. Okay, let's go all the way back to velocity. You can see that we have this main cell. This cell in particular might be the main threat in the near future. It does look like it has a developing inflow notch and a developing hook. It is pretty small right now, and it's a fairly new developed system. So it might take a little bit, but I'll definitely keep an eye on that in the near future and relay updates according to that system further down south. But where we have that tornado warning, it's still radar indicated. The one that was further up north has been canceled. It's no longer there, and I don't see any way it would be coming back. I don't see any rotation that would require a tornado warning at this time. However, further down south, I do see rotation that would require a tornado warning. We have rotation right here, and then what it looks like right here. So we definitely have the possibility of tornadoes in the near future with this line in particular, as well as if you live in this region in particular, please stay weather alert for the time being. Tornadoes could definitely be possible, as well as even expected. Violent tornadoes could be possible, but overall, the possibility of weak tornadoes are expected. If you live in the warning, please stay weather alert for the time being, and make sure you're I don't know who Dr. Phil 9 is, but okay. Yeah, and if you're in any of these warnings, please put as many walls between you and the outside world as humanly possible. If you have a basement, move to the basement and stay away from any windows or doors, as they could potentially be blown in by by the tornadoes as they continue to move through this region. Again, there's still no indicator of the tornadoes being on the ground, but that doesn't matter, as they could touch down anywhere between. They could touch down any time between radar updates, because it takes 5 minutes for a radar update to be out, and those 5 minutes could cost you your life. And tornadoes take seconds to form. So please, if you're in this region, do not wait for any indicator that's on the ground. If you have a warning, just go to your basement. Make sure you have your tornado ready, planned in place. And again, if you live in a tornado-prone area that's prone to tornadoes frequently, like last live stream in north central Texas, or if you in the Midwest, even where Chicago is, it is prone to violent tornadoes, or even tornadoes in general. So even if you live in a downtown region or the Midwest, like a region like here, violent tornadoes could still be possible with that 10% hatch significant region. So again, what I'm trying to say here is make sure you're always prepared for tornadoes if you live in a region that is prone for tornadoes. And never say that it's never going to happen to you, because it's like, oh, it's rare or something. You're watching it live. you're watching it live, folks, there's violent tornadoes going on in downtown Chicago. And we still have two main focuses of rotation, right here and right there and right here. It's almost been 3 hours so far. I'm pretty sure you're back towards the 1 hour time frame. You've only been here for like 2 hours, I'm pretty sure. Waiting for the next radar update so I can take a look at correlation coefficient. But I can probably take a look at the other regions that could be seeing some severe weather development. Let's take a look at the enhanced risk that is back towards Missouri and Kansas. Right now, there's not really all that much activity in the enhanced risk region so far. It's more so further out in central Missouri and western. It's more so in central Missouri and western Illinois. It's not even in western Illinois. It's more so in central and eastern Missouri. And you can see right here, it does look like near a new Bloomfield and Hot Summit. What direction is this going? It's going south. Okay, so it does look like this could be either another developing cell or a hook developing off of this. This could be a developing tornado that could develop in the very near future. So if you live in the enhanced risk region outside of the Chicago region, please stay weather alert for the time being. As again, should you make it okay? If you live in this region in particular, even in the second enhanced risk, please stay weather alert for the time being, as you can also see the possibility of tornadoes with a 2% tornado threat. 1 or 2 brief tornadoes could be possible, as well as the possibility of destructive winds with that 30% had significant wind threat, and large large hail with the possibility of that 50% had significant hail threat. But again, so I probably won't be covering that too much in today's live stream. But please, if you live in that region in particular, it is very, very good to stay weather alert, because I definitely won't be getting reports out for that enhanced risk. So if you live in that region, please be sure that you're staying weather alert, as strong storms can also be possible for that region. Then let's take a look at the tornado warnings. It does look like the northernmost warning currently has overall died down. There is a second warning for downtown, high densely populated Chicago now. It still is in densely populated regions. It's going to even more densely populated regions, and the rotation looks like it's just getting even worse and worse for tornadic development. You can see right here, there's still that rotation, and it's continuing its way eastwards, continuing its march eastward towards downtown Chicago again. So if you live in any of the regions affected, please stay weather alert for the time being, and move into the if you live in this tornado warning, please move into the most interior room of your house, into a basement if you can. into a basement if you can. Stay away from the entrance to the basement. And if you don't have a basement, go to the most interior room of your house on the lowest floor. Put as many walls between you and the outside world as humanly possible, and stay away from windows or doors, as they could potentially be blown in by the tornado. And again, please stay weather alert for the time being. Make sure you have a tornado ready plan in place if you are in a tornado prone area. And again, never say it's not going to happen to you because you're watching it live. No, I've actually thought about doing, on the topic of playing a Roblox, or doing a Roblox live stream, I've thought about doing some, a more weather-related game live streams, like Storm Chasers, or Outbreak when it comes out, or maybe even Twisted on Roblox, just for some fun on low-risk days, like if there's a martial threat somewhere, or if not really anything is happening all that much. I've thought about doing some gaming live streams, but I don't know. Yeah, I would do Twisted, but I've already made so much progress. It wouldn't like really be all that like it would be boring. I wouldn't be making progress because I've already made all the progress. Just waiting for the next radar update now. I don't know, why are you still here? You've been here for pretty much the entire live stream. Sky of Light. It doesn't look like that tornado warning is really going to go away anytime soon. You can still see the rotation there. You still see the rotation right in there. Very, very, it's sort of weak, but it's definitely sufficient enough for, it could also be, like, watered down a little bit by the radar site, because it is passing through a region where it's going to switch back to red instead of green, as it's, like, moving kind of parallel to the radar site. So, rotation might be a little bit hard to see, but it definitely is still there. But, okay, so it does look like there might be a little bit of something developing up to the north. I will keep an eye on that. It could be slowly developing. Right now it doesn't look like all that much, but you see that little notch there. It could be developing into something. It could be developing into the possibility of a tornado threat in the near future. But again, with any storm here, it has that tornado threat. Draw my logo in a cool way, I guess. Sure, I guess. I would love to see the different type of work that people can create out of it. Alright, so we currently got another tornado warning. It has been expanded out into the out into the it's been expanded out into okay, never mind. So it was pushed back down to a radar indicated. It was observed in the past, but now it's just a radar indicated. And I can see why. It does look like there is that developing rotation right here, as well as this down here, which is going to lead to that very wide tornado warning. And again, with this new tornado warning, if you live in any of the areas affected, please stay weather alert for the time being. And if you're in any of the tornado warnings, move into the most interior room of your house, into the lowest floor possible. Put as many walls between you and the outside world as humanly possible. Go underground if you can. If you have a basement, go into the basement and move away from the entrance. Stay away from any walls or stay away from any doors or windows, as those could potentially be blown in by the tornado, and potentially and is and again, if you're outside of this warning, and you live in a tornado-prone area, please have a tornado ready plan in place, as and never say that it's never going to happen to you as you're watching it live. So definitely stay safe if you live in this warning region, and listen to the National Weather Service for any updates. Alright, so I'm back. My dog might be constantly bugging me for attention in the backgrounds, but um, I'm gonna have to bear with it. I can't really do much about it. However, it does look like we are getting some cell splitters here. It does look like we have this cell further down south, currently exiting the tornado warning region. Um, it's currently exiting the tornado warning region with a hook right here in that inflow notch. This could definitely be a tornado beginning to develop, and as far as velocities and rotation, does look like there is a little bit of rotation up in there. So there could definitely be a tornado warning that could be issued in the very near future for these storms in particular. And then as for our winds, we are getting some fairly strong winds. They're mostly in the 40 mph, so I don't think we should have that had significant wind threat, like I was saying earlier. So they're only in the 40 knots. They're not getting up too strong. They're not getting up to the crazy 50 knots. And further up north, we do have that other cell that it is beginning to split from. It does look like it might have a little bit of a hook here with an inflow notch with some rotation on the velocities right here. And then my dog's going to actually constantly bug me for attention in the background. Alright, okay, so now that I'm back, we still have that splitting cell here. Then let's take a look around. We don't really have anything that is all that, like, prominent that I can really note on. I mean, we do have a few spots down here, like south of Gary, southwest of Gary, and south of Dyer. We do have a few rain showers, spotty rain showers, and then we also do have what looks like to be a little bit of storm development back behind that, really. And then with that splitting cell here, not there, here. No, okay, I cannot draw. Splitting cell here, and then a bunch of storms behind that that could have the tornado possible signature on that. However, after all these storms move out of the region, they are likely not going to have all that much of a possibility for storms as they continue eastward and move across northern Indiana and southern Chicago. That's where they will continue their reign of power. So basically, this should be the last of storms. After this, I will likely end the live stream, but it's probably going to be a good maybe 30 minutes to an hour, possibly 2 hours. So I'm not really sure, but it's definitely going to be probably a while. What are rain showers? What do you mean? What are rain showers? What are rain showers? Showers of rain. So currently, still have that splitting cell, and the main threat that has a tornado possible signature still on that is continuing to move out into the Michigan lake, so it likely will not be all that much of a threat in the next few minutes. However, we do have an extended tornado warning for a region in particular. It's kind of hard to tell what they're issuing here, but it does look like they could be issuing. It doesn't look like this supercell further down south. Mostly it looks like this rotation right here. Very weak rotation overall, but it is going to be sufficient enough for the possibility of a little bit of tornadic development. Again, if you live in this region in particular, please stay weather alert for the time being. This tornado warning has been extended. If you live in the warning region, please listen to the warning and go into the most interior room of your house. If you have a basement, move to the basement and move away from the exit. If you don't have a basement, go into the most interior room of your house on the lowest floor. Put as many walls between you and the outside world as humanly possible, and stay away from any windows or doors, as those could potentially be blown in by the tornado as it moves through the region. Currently, it is a radar indicated, but that still doesn't mean anything. That we still have the possibility of a tornado that could touch down between radar scans and could definitely be developing soon. So keep in mind, we still have the possibility of tornadoes associated with this warning, and again, never say that it's not going to happen to you as you're watching it live right now. And if you live in a tornado, if you live in a tornado-prone area, please have a tornado-ready plan in place for if something like this does ever happen. It's not something to joke about, living on the dance floor. You don't know what those people with that confirmed tornado back a few minutes ago, you don't know what they were experiencing, so I don't suggest joking about that. But I think there might be a tornado warning that could be issued in the very near future for this supercell that has split across, or split away with that hook here and the inflow notch here, and the rotation on the radar right there. It could have another tornado warning issued for that region. And again, if you live in this region, please listen to those warnings. And stay weather alert if you live in any of these regions affected by any of the slight risks, or the either any of the enhanced risks or the slight risk regions. So please stay weather alert for the time being. And again, if you live in the warning, please listen to those warnings and move into a basement if you have one. Move into, if you don't have a basement, move into the most interior room of your house on the lowest floor. But put as many walls between you and the outside world as humanly possible, and stay away from windows or doors, as the tornado could potentially blow them in. And if you're make sure you have your tornado ready plan in place if this does happen and you live in a tornado-prone area. Because right now this is moving through extremely populated areas and could be a very, very dangerous situation. And again, as these storms begin to move out of the region, after all these storms move out of the region, there are still tornado possible signatures associated with these storms. But when they finally move out out of Illinois and out of the 10% tornado threat region, I will likely end the live stream. But again, it's probably going to be a little while. But we do have some fairly strong winds associated with these storms. We have wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour or even higher, possibly getting up to 40 miles per hour. So we have some fairly strong winds, and if you're in one of the areas that could potentially be affected by this, you have time to go out and get anything that could potentially blow away. I think 30-mile-per-hour winds should be fine and don't have to really worry about stuff being blown away. And again, if you live in the tornado warning region, don't go out and try to save anything. It's not It's not worth. It's not worth risking your life over. So, again, make sure you're listening to the tornado warnings associated with this system, because we've had, I think, 2 to 3 separate tornado warnings issued for downtown Chicago. So this storm is about to move out into the Lake of Michigan. So as this moves out into Michigan Lake, this right now that's still on land is probably the main threat as far as tornadoes. And as that moves into the Michigan Lake, it's about to move into the Michigan Lake probably by next radar update. So it's probably not going to be all that much of a threat, and this tornado warning will probably be expired very, very soon. Also, I just gotta say that is that is definitely some art there. That is definitely art. Well, I mean, like, I'm sort of joking, but still, like, I appreciate any art that it was mostly in a joking way. I appreciate any art that is made towards Project Gladiator. It's very thoughtful that people were thinking of Project Gladiator and the project in question, so I appreciate any art that is created towards it. No, I didn't say that. No, I'll give you this. It looks good, especially the blue part of the logo with the shiny and vibrant blue. It makes it look spherical, sort of. But yeah, okay. So as these storms continue across downtown Chicago for now, they still have the possibility of tornadoes associated with these storms, and I will continue to relay updates regarding these storms in particular. But that tornado warning has now just expired up to the north of downtown Chicago. That was affecting downtown Chicago for some time, but as of right now, it's been expired and likely will not. There likely will not be another one at this time, but I will continue to relay reports about these storms in particular and give you updates based on what might happen. So as of right now, it doesn't look like there is any like developing rotation. As of right now it doesn't look like there's all that much developing rotation. However, there are some fairly strong winds ahead of this line. There are wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, 45. It's somewhere in the 30 miles per hour, 30 or 40 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour. Possibly getting maybe even up to the upper 45 miles per hour in like 46 miles per hour. So mostly around the 40 mile per hour range. So we have some fairly strong wind gusts, but again, it's not worth risking your life over to go out and try and save your stuff. However, it doesn't look like any developing rotation is in place, but who knows when it could develop, and I will continue to relay reports. If you are about to be impacted but have time, like right now, not right now actually, what I mean by right now is our radar update is extremely quick, and it changed a lot in a few minutes. So I do not suggest going out and trying to like secure any stuff that might be out that could be blown away by 40 mile per hour winds. So it's not anything worth risking your life over with extremely strong winds like this. And again, because of how much of this changed in one radar update, who knows when the next developing rotation could be. It could be on the next radar update, for who knows. For all that we know, it could be on the next radar update. So again, it's nothing worth risking your life over. So I do not suggest or condone going out and trying to secure any items that could blow away. Someone donated to the GoFundMe. Someone did donate to the GoFundMe. It's now up to $50. It's you. Thank you for donating to the GoFundMe. Any donations towards the GoFundMe is towards a very great cause. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. I thank you a lot, actually. You're the highest donator so far, still. Yeah, I know, but you're still the highest donator so far. Why? Why would you do that? I mean, it's going towards a great cause, but still, I don't condone it. You only have to do it if you want to. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna focus on the weather for now, and relay reports based on what's going on. But still, doesn't look like there's any developing rotation. However, it does look like maybe this. Does look like right here, in particular, this area of. It does look like this area of rotation right here does have, not rotation, it looks like it could begin rotating. It does look like it does have a little bit of rotation on it. The radar site is right here, right here in particular. You can see the dark reds. You can see moving away from the radar site. No, that would be counterclockwise, or that would be clockwise. You see moving towards the radar site and then away from the. No, never mind. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say here now. So, we got, it's supposed to be counterclockwise, so we got moving, yeah, I don't think it's rotation. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. It's probably not developing rotation, but it is definitely extremely strong winds that are associated with that. Yeah, it smoothed itself out. So, still, this is extremely strong winds getting up to possibly even the upper 40 miles per hour and even the 50 miles per hour now. That's extremely strong winds, and again, I don't suggest going outside right now to secure any items that could be loose, that could be blown away. Again, you don't know what could change in the next radar update, and it's not anything worth risking your life over. do a collab with someone. I don't know. Still relatively new. I don't think I'm gonna get any collab. I'm probably not gonna get any like collab requests, and I'm probably not gonna ask anyone to collab yet. Probably not at all for the time being. But again, as for now, it doesn't look like there's all that much of a hail potential right now. There could be some small hail associated with some regions like in the darker reds. However, it doesn't really look like it all that much. It could be in there. It mainly looks like just torrential downpours. However, with extremely strong wind speeds on the velocities, again, very, very strong wind speeds. But still, again, I do not suggest going outside to secure any loose items that could be blown away, because it is not worth risking your life over. So that's currently the situation that's going on right now. Right now, not really all that much is happening. There are some spotty showers here and there, like right here near east of Shanabon, and northwest of New Lenox, and northwest of Tinley Park, and north of Harvey, and southeast of Blue Island. So there are some spotty showers that are located in some regions. And then like back in Indiana, there are some spotty showers there as well. So right now there isn't a whole lot going on, but again, I'll continue to keep an eye on this, as tornadoes could still be possible, as well as the potential for hail and strong damaging winds. Right, so we got a new radar update. It's still on its downfall so far. It's slowly exiting mostly into the uh it's slowly exiting into the Michigan Lake. So basically, everything is currently slowly exiting into the Michigan Lake. I likely will not cover too much on these rain showers here. It looks like the main threat for now is beginning to diminish, and overall, it has the possibility of tornadoes. Still, there's right now it's still a low it's not still, it is a low possibility now at this time. It was a higher possibility earlier, and the most of it has passed already and is slowly diminishing over time. And again, as all of this moves out to the Michigan Lake, I am going to end the stream very, very soon. Alright, so I guess now is the best time to read chat. So there's not really a lot going on, even though there's only 2 concurrent viewers right now. So, which if I had to guess, that would still be Sky of Light and Living on the Dance Floor. Thank you for sticking around for pretty much the entire live stream. Tornado warning expires in, or tornado watch expires in 131 minutes, which is, I think, a little bit over an hour, possibly 2 hours. So, as for the ending of the tornado watch, we got 131 minutes. That's gonna be 2 hours left. So, 2 hours left on that tornado watch. Hi, welcome back, Peanut. Okay, this is unexpected. Okay, hold on, give me a second. Give me a few minutes. I got something going on. Never mind, I guess that was it. That was interesting. Yummy. Alright, so basically, there's not really a lot going on right now. Currently, it's rain showers that are right about to, it's root beer, A&W root beer, but we got storms that are currently making their way out into the Michigan Lake. They are about to leave the downtown region of Chicago and be gone forever into the Michigan Lake. So, again, after these storms make their way to the Michigan Lake, specifically this region right here, I might stay a little bit, a few minutes longer to monitor these two systems right here. However, our main potential for tornadoes is going to be back along this line as it continues eastward across southern Michigan and northern Indiana and northern Ohio. So because it's pushing along all the instability and wind shear along with it, there's not really going to be all that much of a strong tornado potential behind that, as it induces that cap back into the environment, reducing our tornado potential by a ton. So tornadoes after this region, tornadoes after after the few minutes, after this event in particular, is not going to be all that high back in the Chicago region. However, we do have that 5% tornado threat for the rest of the region, in particular back towards the southern Michigan and northern Indiana and northern Ohio. So a few tornadoes could be possible back towards that region after today's live stream, but I will likely not cover. I likely will not stick around to cover that 5% tornado threat after this 10% hatch significant region diminishes, and it's about to diminish very, very soon, actually. It's not going to stick around for much longer. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so, reading the chat, will I go live tomorrow? Um, as it seems like, probably not. Let me take a look at the SBC. It could have been updated since since the last time I've looked at it. However, as of right now, probably not, because like today we had that extremely dangerous 10% tornado threat with that hatch significant region for a densely populated area like Chicago. So that was a very dangerous situation that I had to cover today. And tomorrow, it doesn't look like there might be all that much. There is currently for day 2, there is a slight risk for the New England region extending from parts of Kentucky up into Canada through New York and Vermont, and then another slight risk back towards the west for Nebraska, eastern Kansas, or Nebraska, western Kansas, and the Oklahoma Panhandle. I'll definitely do a forecast on it. However, the main threats are looking like 1 or 2 brief tornadoes, possibility of some strong damaging winds, and the possibility of large hail. So, as it seems like tomorrow, probably not. It just seems like any regular old day tomorrow. You're going to download my live stream and watch it on an airplane. I don't know what to say about that. Is that supposed to be flattering or something? I don't know. What am I supposed to say about that? Interesting. Okay. So we still got these rain showers. They have developed over time. I might stay a little longer. They are continuing to develop over time and increase in intensity. Again, our main tornado threat has been overall decreased since uh, that those tornado warnings in the past. Um, I have a feeling that would be pretty boring, but we got these systems right here. We got this system near Matson and Timber Ridge, just east of Frankfort, which is making its way east, as well as one that is by Thornton, making its way east as well. So currently, it doesn't look like there is any rotation associated with these storms, but it is in an area with extremely strong. It is in an area with extremely strong contamination. You see all these like spots here. You can't really see anything on the velocities. It's way too hard to tell. However, it does look like they have the potential to be tornadic, but right now as it stands, they probably won't. But I definitely will take a look. I will definitely stay a little while because as it currently looks, the western one does look like it might have a little bit of a developing hook on it, but it's overall very small and very not prominent at all. So it might not, it probably won't, but I definitely will take a look at it or keep an eye on it for maybe like one or two more, or three or four more radar updates. And I also will update you guys on the aftermath of that confirmed tornado. I think back a few hours ago, it was at like 7 p.m. I think. Now it's 9 p.m. EST. So, um, which would be around, I think, that would be around 6 p.m. Central Time in Chicago, and now it's 8 p.m. Central Time in Chicago. So I've been doing this for a while. Do a robot stream tomorrow? I'm not sure about that one. I might create a new account just so I have one like more dedicated to doing live streams possibly in the future towards Project Gladiator on low risk days, as well as just being able to not have a bunch of progress already made on my main account. So I don't know. It really all depends. Maybe when there's like a marginal threat in the middle of nowhere, maybe I'll do it. But there'll probably be more back towards the winter time, whenever there's more marginal threats and TSTM threats, instead of a bunch of enhanced risk back to back days. So okay, I probably will stick a little bit longer. This definitely does look like it is beginning to develop a small hook. Right here, see that hook there with the inflow notch? I will stick around for a little longer to keep an eye on this until it looks like it's not doing anything anymore. But overall, right now, it does look like it is beginning to develop a little bit of a hook. Although anything on anything on velocities is not going to be accurate, it is extremely contaminated. And whatever was left of that storm line that was back towards here that was triggering those tornado warnings is now all out in the Michigan Lake, about to enter into Michigan now. So I likely will not cover this as it goes into Michigan, as the main threat was back towards that 10% tornado threat that had significant region for a very densely populated region, which would be downtown Chicago. So as that moves into Michigan, I probably won't cover that at all, and likely again, end the live stream after this does whatever it does. But as of um, right now, it looks like this is going to be the main threat for now. Even though it doesn't look like it's doing too much yet, it definitely has the possibility of doing some stuff in the future with the developing hook. And weak reflectivity overall, it looks to be overall a fairly new supercell that's developed overall pretty weak, probably so far. But it definitely does look like it has the possibility of developing a hook, which it looks like it already is probably around this region. On hamsters, my opinion on hamsters, I don't know. I feel like they're not really a good pet. I mean, they say they're a good pet for starters, but I definitely don't think that. But it does look like it has a little bit of a RFD tail sticking out with the RFD around the back. You can see that RFD tail here, or it could also be the inflow tail here with the inflow notch. With the hook, so I know I'm drawing a lot on this hook right now, but if there's gonna be a tornado, it's gonna be up in there. But I will continue to. Okay, never mind. There's no more hook. There probably is a hook though. Right here, you can see here, there is an area of weak reflectivity, but it already was pretty weak already. So there's still that hook right in there, or it could be in any of this region. There could be an updraft, a strong updraft that could be tornadic in the near future, maybe warrant a tornado warning in the next few minutes. However, it probably won't, as I cannot see anything on the on the velocity. So it probably won't warrant a tornado warning in the next few minutes, as we cannot see anything. We will probably have to rely on reports from people in the area based on what they're seeing, ground reports. But if I had to guess, it does look like there is probably a little bit of rotation, actually. You can see going towards the radar site and then away from the radar site. That is clockwise, but it's still rotation, and it could still be tornadic. It's usually tornadoes spin counterclockwise. So with the new radar update, still have that hooked. You can see it there. It's definitely more prominent now, but still does see the inflow dot. Should be in a very tight area there. I don't see any more rotation on the velocities, but yet again, it's still extremely hard to see with all the contamination. But I will continue to relay reports, and right now it doesn't look like we're going to get a tornado warning on this storm. this just for no tornado warning. I mean, like, I'm not gonna start the live like whenever there is a tornado warning, because that's not efficient. And like, people gotta know beforehand and stuff about the current situation. It's good to be always live in a severe weather day, whenever everything's already before everything gets going. Because I got live just before everything ramped up to its crazy amount. But right now this is the main threat left in Chicago, downtown Chicago, with that actually I think this would be no, this would be in the 10% tornado range. However, the rest is out in Michigan now without 5%. But as of right now, if I had to guess, it'd probably be back down to 5% or a tornado, or 5% or a 2% tornado threat for this region in particular at this current time, because of everything, because of outflow boundaries pushing all the instability and wind shear further out east. So right now, this is our main threat. It probably has a low potential of doing anything, but I will definitely stay and cover it for a little while. But still, there's a reason why when there was no tornado warnings, I tried to start the live stream before there were any tornado warnings, because of the fact that you have to tell people like what's going on beforehand and stuff, and relay reports for the entire day. So it's kind of hard to explain, but hopefully you get the gist of it. Let's page chat. What do you mean? Let page chat? I don't know who Page is. It's on subscribers only. She gotta subscribe if she wants to chat, I guess. Alright, it's a 1 minute wait after subscribing. It's just to decrease raids and everything, because I wouldn't want a bunch of people just randomly joining the stream and spamming a bunch of terrible stuff. So that's why I have that implemented. She waited 2 minutes. Is it working now, I guess? I don't know, maybe refresh the stream. I'm not really sure, to be honest. YouTube's a weird platform. But you can see, it may not look like much right now, and I say everything about the hook and stuff. You may be wondering, like, where's the hook? And it's not this down here, that's something else, but you can still see that hook right here. Low reflectivity in the center there, so it's probably a low reflectivity or low precipitation supercell, with the updraft being outside of the main precipitation core, or not attached to it in terms of reflectivity. The hook's right here. I drew a line towards it. The hook is right here. With an inflow notch, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can just barely see it with some very weak reflectivity. And if we had a tornado, it would probably be right up in there, right there. If we had a tornado, however, there's no velocity or rotation to indicate that there would be any rotation. So, as soon as this like diminishes, it looks like it's on the down track, but I don't want to leave like right before something happens. But you can still see that there's the hook, even though there's not really all that much rotation. I'll try to see on radar scope maybe if I can see anything. I kind of prefer that over radar omega, but right now it doesn't look like there's going to be all that much of anything. And in terms of rotation on radar scope, there's not really anything. So, with that being said, probably everything moving into Michigan, across the Michigan Lake, I am probably going to end the live stream here then. I do want to thank everyone that did tune in and is supporting Project Gladiator. I really do appreciate the support, and I really and don't I really appreciate all the support from everyone towards Project Gladiator, and we grew a lot from one live stream. So I just want to say thank you for all the support. Living on the dance floor, Skyblight. Who else? We've got Peanut. We have ABC123 ID. We have who else? We got Mr. Glitch. So I'm gonna thank you guys for supporting with Project Gladiator, and we really did grow a lot this live stream. So Paige, thank you, Paige. But again, so I just thank you guys a lot, and I know I said Paige, it's delayed. So basically, again, I just want to thank you guys a lot. Anyone that supported in today's live stream and has supported in the past, again, just thank you guys. So, I'll likely end the live stream here now that I think something happened. I think they updated the SPC outlook. Yeah, they just did. The enhanced risk is no longer there. There is a slight risk, I think, yeah, slight risk for Michigan, northern Indiana, and northwestern Ohio. So if you live in those areas, stay weather alert. And hopefully I should be able to see you guys tomorrow in tomorrow's forecast. And again, thank you for tuning in.